All right, guys. So, got a really cool pistol I picked up from, again, local sportsman's auction. I know it's like beating a dead horse at this point, but um, this one actually slipped off my radar. This was not on my radar initially, and I went back through. I had been bidding on a couple of pistols, and bidding got kind of higher than I wanted to go at the moment, and I decided to back out on those, and I went back through the auctions to see if there was anything I had missed or hadn't paid attention to that I should have caught. And I found this, and it's an FN model 1922, which is fine and well, but what made this one a little more special is the fact that it is marked Railroad Police, U.S. Zone. So what we've got here is a post-World War II U.S. Zone. Well, it was built for the U.S. Zone. Apparently the U.S. Zone was temporary, and so by the time these actually got into use, the U.S. Zone wasn't even a thing, and it was just the Allied Zone, I believe. And so anyway, it's a pretty cool example. It has some wear and tear. It's not the tightest of any pistol I've ever felt, but I think that's just kind of a design thing with these. There were a little looser tolerances than on some stuff you'll see today. Heel mag release, European style mag release. Safety is very functional. It actually keeps you from even pulling back the slide. Now it also is your stop for your slide stop and release. As you can see, mine doesn't sit in there necessarily as fleshly as I'd like. It works fine, but it is a slight concern. Something to be aware of. I wouldn't call it a concern even. It's got the importer mark ESI Milford, New Hampshire, and the only thing that anybody has been able to turn up on ESI, unless you guys actually have any information, the only things I've been able to find anywhere online, we're talking about specifically the Railroad Police U.S. Zone pistols being imported by these guys. Again, ESI of Milford, New Hampshire. And so they definitely don't exist anymore, not in the same format or anything like that. And this was the only batch of guns that I could find that there was discussion of them importing. So that's kind of interesting. It is a 7mm by 6.5, which is 32 ACP. It is a Browning design. Even says Browning's patent right on it, which is really cool. Just a neat example. Definitely on the slightly collectible side. Yes, the wartime ones are a little bit more collected, but this being a post-war with the U.S. Zone ties and the Railroad Police certainly gives it a fairly significant, maybe a little niche as far as, you know, who's into them, but there's definitely people out there that collect them. One thing that's cool about these are modeled on the 1910 pistols. This is just basically a barrel. It's your barrel nut, but it's also your it's also an extension so they could run a longer barrel. The story goes with these things is that they were the Austrian army was looking for a pistol. They liked FN's offerings, but one model was too expensive, and the model 1910, which was the other one that they were considered, was too small. It was this length. You just had a barrel nut that was just at the end of this slide, and it had a shorter grip frame. And so the Austrians were like, yeah, we really like your 1910, however, it's too small. And so FN's engineers got to work, and they realized what they could do is they could use the same internal parts, cut down on costs a bit, use the same type slides, and just use a longer barrel with a barrel, basically this extension here that covers the barrel, which is now also your locking mechanism for your slide. Locks your, it's your barrel nut essentially for your slide. And so they kind of worked around it and gave them an option that was within their something they could afford, within their price range, and met the requirements. Even though the 32 it's a speedy little round, but it's a small round, so you're not going to get amazing ballistics, capabilities out of the 32 round. Some people carry them. I've carried a Walther PP in the past, a vintage one, and yeah, maybe felt a little underpowered as far as the cartridge. Felt comfortable with the gun as far as function and it being reliable enough to carry, but it is a maybe less round than you want for personal protection. I'm sure some out there would disagree and say it's all right. Like I said, it's a zippy round. It just doesn't have that muzzle energy some of the other rounds have. And I think it actually performed pretty decent on depth tests in ballistics, if I'm not mistaken. But again, your wound cavity wasn't anything crazy because of the small round, and it just didn't dump that force very well into the ballistic gel or target. So anyway, your results may vary. You may like the 32 as a carry gun. I've had one stashed at the shop before in 32. Like, again, I think it's viable as far as a cartridge. I enjoy shooting it. It's actually a great cartridge to shoot. This gun was fantastically fun to shoot. I cannot wait to pick up some more 32 rounds and put more rounds through this thing. I have a limited supply of 32 because I'd gotten rid of some of my 32s over the years, and now that I've got another one, I've got to restock on ammo because I really enjoyed shooting this thing. Absolute pleasure to shoot. Very little recoil with the 32 round, especially out of an all steel pistol with a decent length barrel. I mean, it is just fantastically fun to shoot. So I will definitely be picking up more rounds. This will get fired more if I can once I get the range set up over at the shop. I can hopefully get some more footage, get some shooting footage, that type thing. So anyway, wanted to share it with you guys. It's a really cool piece. If you have an opportunity to run across one of these and really fun to shoot, I wouldn't hesitate to pick one up as a shooter, let alone if you find something that's a collectible variant of it, then that's even better. So really cool pistol. I'm a history buff, so I like the old stuff that's especially has some ties with something historic. So the U.S. Zone Railroad Police, that really piqued my interest personally. So really cool pistol. Hope you guys enjoyed me yapping about it here. If you did, give me a like or subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Working on getting the channel monetized here. If it gets monetized, that means I can do more content. I can work on doing better quality content because I'll be able to put more time into it. This is totally a side gig that's making me no money at this point. And anything that I'm showing has been purchased with my own money, and it's just my honest opinion of whatever I've got here. So anyhow, appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching.